What's up guys, and today I'm going to be doing another video on what if on Deku. This what if is going to be what if Deku was born as a villain. So yeah, so this is starting when Deku is born. His father is the most wanted villain in the world, like all over countries and all that. But he's the most wanted villain in the world, but not as one. But like, not even All For One can beat how wanted Deku's dad was. So yeah, he's the most wanted person in the whole entire world. And and no one, and then out of nowhere, he just ups and dies, and everyone's trying to find out what happened to him and all that stuff. So no one knows what happened to him. But so no one knows what happened to him. But before that, he everyone knows that he had a bunch of fans and yeah, he was really powerful. Like everyone knew that Deku's dad was really powerful, and no one could beat him, not even All Might. So, but there was one time that All Might and All For One had to join up and like try and defeat him, and that was the only one time that he was actually defeated. But he was never turned in. Like he was never turned into the police. So, what up? So yeah, he was never turned into the police. He just always escaped everything. So so the police and all the heroes are trying to find out how he died and when he died. So yeah, but before he like when he died, a bunch of people held a funeral for him, like all the villains, all the villains and all the heroes. Even regular normal people that didn't have quirks and that did have quirks. Like they just held a funeral in the center of like the whole city, saying gone but not forgotten. Like that was basically how it was. Even the heroes are going to miss him, because even if he was the most wanted criminal, he like made their lives more fun, more worth it. So yeah, so they held this big funeral for him, basically saying, like, you already know, gone but not forgotten and all that stuff, like I just said. So they have a big funeral for him, and and everyone just sees that a bunch of heroes and some villains, but not all villains, like 3 or 10 or like 5 villains join, but undercover, because they don't want to get captured by like the heroes. But yeah, a bunch of heroes are in it as well, and a bunch of normal people and all that. So, and like normal people that don't have quirks, and yeah, like don't have quirks, and people that do have quirks are in it, because some of those people did look up to him, like Deku's dad, and some of those people did not. So that's why this is happening. So, and this happens the day that Deku is born. So every year that uh, um uh uh sorry, you didn't have to see that, but yeah. So every year that Deku, so every year they would have a celebration honoring how much of a villain Deku's dad was. And yeah. So this is when um Deku starts to notice. So Deku's being born on his day. Like he's being, like, forget what I just said, and Deku's being born on this particular day. and Deku's mom, like, basically Deku's dad was living two lives as a dad and also as a villain. His so Deku's mom didn't really know, and like she was also trying to figure out what happened to her like husband because they were married and everyone knew that. So Deku was being born, and like time skipped to like a few years later where where everyone is like finding out what their quirks are and like what they can do. This is when I'm gonna say Deku does have a quirk in it, but like it's a very bad quirk. It's like a god tier quirk. So Deku has the quirk of it's kind of like insta kill and also creation mixed together. So he and also like a war quirk. So he can like make he can make materials out of anything, but as long as it's like used for like war, like if it was used in a war, then like yeah, he can make it. Even if it's not from his world or another, he can like still do it. So yeah. So he makes war things from like out of nowhere. That's his quirk, and like those and like the weapons that he makes, anything that touches them or like that he stabs them with immediately just dies. Like it just immediately dies. And anyone that he looks at just like rather gets like passes out, cause like in Deku's eyes, what they see is their worst fear, kind of like in Ghost Rider, like when they have to see how other people have to suffer and they see the worst fear and all that. So yeah. So because of this, people have to take Deku in and like kind of like experiment on him. So after a year of experimenting on Deku, they tell him to uh to cover his eyes and don't rely on sight. Just rely on like your senses and all that. So I mean, like it wasn't like a year. It was more like a half a year. So yeah. Sorry if you have to see those other things. Don't mind those. But like, yeah. So it was sorry. So yeah, Deku has to cover his eyes, and he only has to rely on his senses. And hold up. Sorry about that. That was my cousin. So yeah. Um. So they're telling Deku to cover his eyes and only rely on his senses. And this is when they also give Deku like gloves, but special gloves. And he can only use his quirk when he's like in like when he's in danger and all that stuff. Hold up, cause my grandma's done making dinner. So yeah. I'll see you right after I'm done eating. What's up guys? I am back. Sorry for the long wait, but I'm back. So Deku is like so yeah, they give like Deku so they gave Deku gloves, so when he only needs to use them when in like in danger moments or like when or like when he's really hurt, like if he's hurt or if he's in danger, then yeah, they're gonna give him they gave him that type of gloves. Like it makes him using his quirk very difficult because his quirk is very powerful, but like the gloves that they gave him, you can't really take it off. Like you can't really take it off, and if he gets it like wet or like or anything like stained or something, it's just gonna make it like it's just gonna like drain it like that's gonna be the glove's power source. And like Deku, like when he was being born, his quirk was very strong. Like it was really strong. Even like the gloves can't really contain it because that's how strong his quirk is. But like yeah, I would say like that's how strong Deku's quirk is. So yeah, his quirk is pretty strong. And even when the gloves are trying to not allow him to like use his quirk, he's still gonna be able to use it like a little bit, but it's not gonna be as strong where it has to poison someone, just like hurt them, like let's say 10 attack damage, basically like that much, like just like hurt them. So yeah, that's how much Deku's gonna be able to use his quirk. Cause they haven't really made a quirk device that can contain very much strong quirks. And when people figure this out about Deku, people start to fear him, but people start to fear him, even Bakugo a little bit, because like in preschool, somebody was like trying to basically rob them, and like basically trying to like stay there until the cops give them like a helicopter and all that stuff. This is when Deku uses his quirk and basically sorry and basically punches the crap out of that person in the gut, and they also punch the other guy in the nuts. I'm not gonna lie. That's what they did. That's what Deku did. He punched him very hard. That his you know what is destroyed. So and when he punched him in the gut, it like kind of like twisted his insides more than it should have. Like I'll say that ever since Deku punched that guy in the gut, he's been like like his back feels like empty. Like he's gonna have this thing in his back that shows where his organs are, like kind of, because that's how hard Deku punched him. So yeah, and I would say that ever since that punch, that guy just like basically fell in love with Deku. Like as a masochist, he likes pain. He likes it when Deku hits him. So yeah. So because of this, everyone everyone is like kind of scared of Deku because of that day. No one really talks about it, but like yeah. But like as Deku grows up, he feels like he doesn't really get attention because of his quirk, and he starts to feel lonely. The only attention that he gets is from his mom, and that's it. Everyone else in the neighborhood just fear Deku because of his quirk. And they think that when he grows up, he's gonna become a villain, and he is. Because he never got the attention that he deserved. So, yeah. So then this is when the Sludge Villain attacks. And Deku was about to hurt Sludge Villain. But he thinks that, but like everyone's kind of watching, so He's like, if I do this, then people are gonna fear me more than they already do. But if I don't, I'm gonna die. So what the frick am I supposed to do? Then this is when All Might comes and he sees that the sludge villain is trying to, take over Deku's body, and then Deku thinks of something. Then everyone just sees a light and flashes, and like the sludge villain's quirk is like the sludge villain quirk was, his quirk was a little bit broken, so he like fixed it. He Deku's he fixed the sludge villain's quirk. Now the sludge villain is able to turn to human slime whenever he wants to. So this is when like the sludge villain notices this, and he just says to All Might, and he says like thank you to Deku, and he just sludge, and like All Might just says wow, like he doesn't even know what to say. He's just speechless. That's how he is. All Might is just speechless. So, so, sorry. So, so since All Might doesn't have like handcuffs, he was just preparing to put the sludge villain in a bottle. So he just asks the sludge villain if you can turn to a slime and get in the bottle. So the sludge villain just says, yeah, because this is like one of his happiest days ever, because he gets to finally be human again. He doesn't have to be slime ever. So then this is when like as this is happening, this is when All Might is about to go off. And Deku, like, he kind of looked up to All Might, but then he also started having second thoughts about him. But he still kind of looked up to him. So this is when he was gonna ask All Might for like an autograph, but instead he's like flew off. He flew off, but Deku was able to grab a hold of him and stuff. But as like the sludgeman was on the bottle, he was also getting second thoughts as well. So this is when All Might notices this, and he lands on the nearest building that he can. So because of this, people kind of fear Deku, because they think that Deku's gonna do something to the number one hero, and if he does, then people are gonna start fearing him more than he already does. So this is then when as Deku and on the roof. Hold up. What's up, guys? And as I was back to what I'm doing now. So Deku asks All Might for an autograph. He does it. So All Might transforms into his normal form and turns back into like that skeleton thing or something like that. Like he basically transforms out of his like one frog thing, quirk thing, form, whatever. And this is when Deku asks All Might if he can be a hero even though he has a villain quirk. This is when All Might says he doesn't know what to say to that, but it's up to whatever you choose to do. But most people that do have a villain quirk end up becoming real life villains. So I don't know about you, kid. That's what All Might says. Because of what just he heard about like he heard stories about this kid that can that has the quirk to kill people, and he knows that quirk is this kid. So So he doesn't really want him to become a villain, and he doesn't really want him to become a hero either. So Deku can basically hear the thoughts. Like, he doesn't know what Deku's thinking. Like, Deku doesn't know what All Might is thinking, but like he knows what he's saying. Like he knows what he's actually saying. Like in his like he thinks that All Might is hiding words from him. So that's what Deku thinks. In his mind. He's like whatever choice you make to become a hero or a villain, that's up to you. But don't become a villain. Like, that's what All Might's basically, like, that's what Deku's basically trying to say. But he knows that, and like deep down in All Might, he like knows, like, Deku knows that deep down in All Might fears Deku, but he doesn't want people to fear him. He just wants people to like look up to him, like, as a person, like kind of like All Might, like someone to look up to when you need help. Then like when Deku's here, like Deku's hearing this and he has nothing to say, so Deku just breaks down, like his dreams are crushed and all that. Like, the words that he wanted to hear from All Might, like, he didn't want to hear that from All Might. Hearing whatever choices that you make is your choice. Is your choice if you want to become a hero or a villain. So this is when, like, Deku. So the next day. So before the next day, Deku just like has dinner with his mom. His mom asks how did his day go. He doesn't like basically answer her. He just gives her silent treatment and goes straight to bed. The next day, he tells like the principal, teacher, or whatever that he no longer wants to go to UA. So he says, why? So he like starts stuttering, saying, "Why do you not want to go to UA anymore?" He says, "I don't know. I just changed it. I just changed my mind." So, so she's like, "Okay, and I'll erase you. So I'll erase you from the list." So yeah. So yeah. Even when even when Deku is like kind of, he's like, so like this happens, and so then so it's summer passes, and like as it was summer, he was just like as it was summers. Hold up, I'm sorry, I'm eating something. As it's summer, Deku was training kind of like in the anime, but he wasn't training with All Might to become a hero. He was training by himself to become stronger in a way. And I would say the League of Villains heard about this kid that has a very powerful quirk, even even All for One might want. So this is when All for One tells Kirigiri that he wants he wants him, and that he wants him to find the boy. Like he wants him to find Deku. But Kurogiri doesn't know who Deku is and where he came from. So he doesn't even know where he is right now. So Deku, like after summer, Deku like goes to like a normal school full of people with quirks and also without quirks. But this school is way more better than the school that he went to, as so like uh Shut up, bro. Shut up. Shut up. I'm sorry. Two of my cousins are in the room, that's why. So Deku's living a normal life. Bro, shut up. Stop laughing. You annoying, my nigga. I'm sorry. I don't even know if I can censor that out, so I'm sorry. Bro, shut up. So, Deku is at a normal school with normal people. And this is when he meets a girl with with a little bit of pale skin and and pink hair and pink eyes. And bro, I'm gonna kill you. Shut up. So so Deku is so because she has pale skin and she gets bullied for that, and also because she has kind of like a weak quirk. No, she doesn't have a weak quirk. She has like a really strong quirk, but people tell her not to use it. People tell her not to use it, and that's why. But when Deku gets to the school, people like everywhere, people know about him. And he's the most popular kid in that school, so people just instantly start to fear him because they know what his quirk is and what he can do. I'm about to slap both of y'all. Sorry for that noise. The noise just now. So, people. So people in the whole school fear Deku, and he's the most popular kid there. This is when one of the girls dare the girl that they dare the girl to become friends with Deku, and she says no. So they start like beating her up, and Deku like sees this, like he doesn't really see it, but he senses it, and he just walks right past them, like not caring at all. So so I'm sorry. You had to hear that. That was one of my cousin's little sister. So so Deku Deku just walks past the girl that's getting bullied. This is when she yells out for help, and Deku stops in his tracks. He wants to keep going. Then he turns around and tells them to stop. So because they fear Deku, they stop and they go away. This is when Deku keeps on walking. So this is when the girl catches up to Deku and says, and like she introduces herself. I'm gonna smack you. Turn that down. So, yeah, she like starts talking to Deku, and Deku's like kind of ignoring her, even though he doesn't he just doesn't care for her. It doesn't matter. He doesn't care what she does. But she keeps trying to talk to him. I'm sorry if you can't hear that. That's the TV. I'm about to leave right now. Sorry. So, like, so Deku and the girl, they basically, So this is when Deku and her. So this girl says, "Let's make a deal." Deku says, "What deal? What deal?" Because her saying deal caught his attention. So this is when they say that that the deal is that we can be friends, and the deal sorry the deal is that the deal is the deal was that I'll be your eyes and ears. I mean that I'll be your ears. I mean your eyes, so that you don't have to sense anything anymore. And when we get in a fight, I'll tell you what to do and when to do it. So he says, okay, that's it for me. What's in it for you? Me and you become friends, and that's it. So Deku says, fine, let's become friends. No quotes, no nothing. He just says, let's become friends.
All systems go. Anything more stable.
So this is when everyone knows that they become friends. And like since they're like the most strongest people in the school, this is when people like, because she's been hanging around Deku, they start to fear her too as well. So this is when they start calling the kings. This is when they start calling them the kings and the queens of the school. Like Deku's the king and she's the queen, because they're the most strongest people in the school. This is then when her and Deku were going to Deku's house because they were going to hang out. Deku's mom already know about them. Like they know that they're good friends and that they hang out. So yeah. So yeah. So Deku just starts to. He doesn't really care, but Deku doesn't really care. So he goes to an alleyway and telling the girl that this is the faster way to his house. Then this is when Kirigiri like sees them, and he basically teleports them both to like the bar that where him and Shigaraki live. Sorry if I was saying the name wrong. I'm not really that good at saying stuff, so yeah. So him and Shigaraki live there. Then this is when they say that they want Deku to join the League of Villains. And he says, okay, what if I join? What's in it for me? You guys get a really powerful person in your ranks, but what's in it for me? They say that you get to do whatever you want when you want. And he says, fine, deal. So this is where I'm gonna end the video. And yeah, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any other ideas on what other quirk that Deku should have, tell me in the comments down below. So yeah, make sure like it's a villain quirk or something evil. So yeah, I'll see you guys later, and I'm very sorry for like the noise and all that stuff. So yeah, goodbye guys.